Watch more, feel more. Dell.
Gee, that was fun to watch. Afghanistan have posted the highest score, batting first in this year's ICC Men's T20 World Cup. 190 is what they've finished with after deciding to bat first in this opening encounter for them in the Super 12s against Scotland. This is Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket Info T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. Peter Borren and Tom Moody to look back at that. Gee, Tom, that was fun. We knew they'd go hard, and they did.
They certainly did. They didn't let us down, did they? I mean, we certainly know that that's the brand of cricket they are renowned for playing, and when they're on song, they are entertaining to watch. 24 boundaries in total, 13 fours and 11 sixes. Yes, I know Sharjah is a small ground, but they were not just mini sixes; they were monstrous sixes. There was a couple of sixes that went over 100 metres. So there's some good striking on offer there the last couple of hours.
We're wondering if we'll get to see the power game in full flow in this year's tournament, Peter, after the surfaces we've seen, after the West Indies got it horribly wrong against England the other day. But when it comes together, it's still fun to watch, isn't it? More fun, perhaps, than what we saw in some of those round one matches.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, if you give the opportunity to a guy like Zazai or particularly Najibullah Zadran, he's a beautiful, clean striker of the ball. And I'm afraid, from a Scotland perspective, they bowled a lot of balls in the slot, didn't they? And I'm sure they talked about their length, but they missed. And if you miss to these guys, they're going to hit it a long way. No early wickets, and they were set up pretty strongly to have a go, and they did not disappoint. The Afghanis it was awesome striking, helped a little bit by what I thought was some pretty average bowling from the Scots.
Yeah, you could see that it was there for them to hit more often than not. That being said, though, Tom, for those of us that haven't seen the Afghanistan cricket team play a lot of T20 and international cricket together, you quite like what you're seeing of them. They've built this power hitting template sort of batting lineup, and they're looking good. It seems to have come together quite well for them, even though the opposition today, with due respect, was only Scotland.
Well, their batting has always been renowned for power. They're a strong group of men, so that they take advantage of their strength, their stature. They're not sort of renowned for their technical finesse. Technically, there's a few holes that they have in their game. But T20 cricket, if you've got a good surface, technique is not really that high on the priority. It's more about how well you can hit the ball and how strong you can keep a base to hit the ball regularly. And this surface certainly looks like a very good pitch. Therefore, everything sort of suited their game. But interesting enough, there were signs that there was a little bit there for the spinners, which would be a concern for the Scots, particularly given they've got to chase down 191.
Yeah, fair enough. I remember an interview with Mohammad Shahzad where he says, I don't need the body to hit sixes. I need character to hit sixes. And that was typical of Mohammad Shahzad. I'm guessing there are not a lot of yo-yo tests that run around in the Afghan team like they do in some of the others. Let's talk a bit about Scotland's bowling, though, Peter. And they're a smart team. They didn't quite change those lengths up. Would you expect it better from Scotland? What did they get wrong there?
Look, they miss a proper pace bowler, of course, but even with the seamers that they do have, I think they could have used the short ball a little bit more. It looked like they were just lining it up. Even if you bowl the short ball every now and then at 130 clicks, although it's not going to rush them too much, they can't just set up to smack it out of the ground. And I think that we only saw maybe one or two cutters, short balls into the wicket. It was difficult with the short boundary, of course, and the fact that Afghanistan did put Najibullah at 4, which meant that there was always a left-hand, right-hand combination. I think Michael Leask bowling the third over, that would have been all about matchups. And I totally get the matchup thing, but Leask he's a part-time bowler. You can't just float out some off-spin and that's going to get out of the ground. And that went for 18 and got the Afghans going. There was some really good bowling as well. Sharif he's a quality operator, and he bowled beautifully. Mark Watt doesn't miss the Yorker much, does he? He's a good bowler. He also can bowl to one side of the field, and I think he really bowled well. But some of the others, just a lot of slot. And so Sharif and Watt, very good. The rest of them, I mean, it was just a bit too easy for the guys. I must say, Gurbaz coming in at 3. He's a pleasure to watch. Haven't seen a lot of him play, but he made it look in control. We talk about the power game, but he really looked like he was just in complete control of his game. It was actually a pleasure to watch, and we've seen that at batting at 3 in T20 cricket. We talked about it earlier, that anchor role. He looks like a player very much capable of that.
Yes, Tom.
Oh, look, I was just going to back up the point that Peter made just about the matchups. Matchups are great, but you need to have a specific specialist executing that matchup. So often you see, oh gosh, there's a left-hand batsman's come to the crease, let's bowl the off-spinner. Oh, we don't have a specialist off-spinner, but we've got a batsman that can bowl off-spin, let's throw the ball to him. And too often that backfires. You're much better off bowling your specialist left-arm spinner if you think that spin or taking pace off the ball is their answer. Regardless left or right hand batter, you make that call. But too often you see the part-time bowler backfire just purely on the basis of this is what the numbers tell us. But the numbers are generated by the specialists that have produced the numbers, not the part-time bowlers that have produced the numbers.
Yeah, I'm always curious as to whether when the matchup goes wrong, whether there's a little look to the analyst, or is the analyst sort of just not looking around Tom and saying, "Oh, well, that's about how you cricketers executed your skills. It's not my problem." Does that happen in a franchise dugout?
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting point you make there, because at the end of the day, the analyst provides you with the information. He doesn't force you to execute on that information. The analyst's role is to give you all the detail. Every now and then find a gem of a detail that can give you that little advantage in a contest. But at no stage is he forcing your hand or the captain's hand to make that play. All he's saying is, this is what the information's telling us. This is what the trend is. This is what the venue's telling us. And then you sit down and work out what your strategy is around that information.
All right, fair enough. Now, Afghanistan do have quality spin in their ranks. Peter, 190 for Scotland to get. How do you see this one going?
How do I see it going? From an objective point of view, I see Scotland, that they're in an awful lot of trouble. From an associate partisan, perhaps, point of view, I hope that, obviously, with that short boundary and the wicket playing a little bit better today, in their favour is the fact that they have played Afghanistan and done pretty well in the past in 50 over cricket. It's not complete mystery to them. Obviously, it's an awful lot of runs. I can't imagine that the Afghanis are going to send so many balls just to hit out of the ground as the Scots did. And how do I see it going? I don't think the Scots will hold back. Every chance that they fall well short. But in saying that, you never know. It's T20 cricket. Yeah. And if a couple of guys get going, then particularly a guy like Barrington, if he gets going on what is a small ground, hopefully we can see some entertainment and a close game.
Yeah, it is one of those surfaces, the Moody and McGrath versus Tendulkar from '98 sort of surface, isn't it, Tom? So are we going to see an easy win for Afghanistan, or is this?
Well, hopefully there's no horrible part-time bowlers bowling today. But look, Scotland have got no choice but to go hard, and could quite easily end up them getting bowled out, quite cheaply. But if they get on a roll and they've got a couple of batsmen that are capable of getting on a roll, they might give Afghanistan a bit of a fright.
Yeah, it started well for George Muncy, who's switch hitting Mohammad Nabi. So anything can happen. It seems like they're up for the contest, the Scots. Let's pick up the chat at the end of it. Thank you very much, Peter Borren and Tom Moody. More from you on Maruti Suzuki Presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Timeout, powered by Dell. If they get anywhere close to 191, should be a cracker of a game. Pick it up after that.
Watch more, feel more. Dell.